Alright, what's good everybody? It's your boy ShawnFromNVY back with another video. Hey man, today's video, I'm lost for words, y'all. America's already decided who they wanted for president. Donald Trump won president-elect. And people have really been expressing their hate for this man even more. It's just crazy to me. Democrats are losing their minds. One of the greats, Jennifer Lewis, was recently on the Stephen A. Smith show. I'm a fan of Jennifer Lewis. Always have been. Loved her work, man. Love her work. She's one of the funniest people I watch when it comes to social media. I'm just so sad it had to come to this. This is one of those situations where I cannot back Jennifer Lewis. Jennifer Lewis might have the worst crash out of the year. Check this out.
I gotta ask you a sensitive question though. With all of this positivity that you ooze, particularly emanating from your experiences, how are you feeling when Kamala Harris lost the election?
Well,
I imagine you were, I was told you were a big supporter of hers.
Huge. If only to stop that thing from doing whatever he's planning to do. But I got to tell you something. I told the kids, and still are, we know how to fight. It's not new to us. And when I say us, I'm talking about the world. Because here's a song I wrote. We gonna be all right if we stand as the people. We're gonna be all right if we trust with the people. Right if we rise as one people. And I believed that Kamala Harris would have done that. This thing is divisive, cruel, and evil, insane, narcissistic, and he's a sociopath. But honey, we are the people. And we're not going to allow this dictatorship. I told everybody you can be scared, but we must be unafraid. Now, how do you fight? You go to your city council meetings. You go to your zoning meeting. And you'll know who's raising your rent. Educate yourself, because you're losing your rights. And I'm talking to the Gen Zs and the millennials now. You ain't gonna have no pension if you don't fight. You ain't gonna have Social Security or health care if you don't fight. So learn how to fight. Listen to smart people. Listen to Steve. Listen to Stacey Abrams. Listen to Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett and Maxine Waters. Listen to them. Listen to who knows what roads to take now, because this Republican Party ain't playing.
Y'all just don't know my love for Jennifer Lewis, man. But is Jennifer Lewis off her meds or something, dog? Like, because this was so hard to watch, man. It was so hard to listen to so much misinformation, right? Now, I'll agree on her in the terms of do your own research. Look up this stuff for yourself, man. Stop listening to those talking points from the echo chamber. People repeating themselves constantly, every day, saying the same old things that have been debunked and labeled as misinformation. They just don't want to believe that it's misinformation. A lot of this stuff, Trump himself has already denied and said he has nothing to do with this stuff. The man hasn't even gotten in office yet, and y'all acting like this is just the end of the world. Do your local due diligence. Find out where your money is going to locally. You mean to tell me it took Trump to get elected for y'all to start preaching that y'all should be voting and vetting your local politicians? I've been saying this for a while now. I just got hip to this maybe a few years back. Your local officials affect your life more than federal government do. A lot of people, when they go to the voting booth, they only vote that one time every 4 years. And when they go, they only know the 2, maybe 4 people, president and vice president, to choose between. Those other people on the ballot, no one never really knows who they are. And I've been guilty of this myself, being an ex-Democrat myself. When I would go vote for that Democratic president, I was taught just vote Democrat all down the ballot. And until I started noticing my state taxes kept on going up every time. Property taxes is killing me. So just recently it took for me to get married and have a family for me to be like, look, where's my money going to? For me to start doing my due diligence on who around my area is voting for certain things to tax us more. It should have told us this in high school. They have government in high school. They'll teach you the bare minimum. But what these school systems don't teach you is how to vet these people out. Me personally, I was okay with Trump saying get rid of the Department of Education. Or if not get rid of it, do some real deep auditing and clean out house. Because our kids should not be as dumb as they are. I'm sorry for saying it, y'all, but our kids, like where I'm from, you got kids in high school with a reading level of a middle school student. This is public schools. Reading is very important in life. When you have kids growing up who don't even know how to comprehend what they are reading, They just know they're reading words, but they don't know how to comprehend the shit. This is how we stay at the bottom. They don't really want to educate you for real, for real. People want to forget about the first term he was in and what he did for us, especially the black community. They didn't want us to see what he did for black folks. It's documented. I had to go and do my own research. And I went back and did research on the black president that I voted for to see how much he did for the black people. Barack didn't even really do much for white folks. You know who Barack did for? The LGBTQ plus community. That's who he did for. He didn't do for us. And then we gave him a second term, and he still didn't do for us. Black or white. Then we get his vice president, Biden, to be president, and all shit just go to haywire. He didn't do shit for none of us, black and white people. They did more for immigrants than they did for people who were actually born and raised in this country. I was born and raised in America. So when you get the people to say, hey, well, go back where you came from, this is where I'm from. I'm not African. I don't even tell people I'm African American. I'm not African American. I'm American. I'm an American who happens to be black. So I categorize myself as a black American. Black folks who really know about Africa know that African folks don't fuck with black people in America. They don't consider us them. So I don't consider myself them. It's documented when Trump was president his first time, money flowed everywhere. I didn't have no issues going on for those years. And the crazy thing about it is I didn't even notice it until he got out of office and Biden came in. I noticed I was losing. But wait a minute. If I did good this 4 years, and here you go, a new person came in and stuff just falling apart for me, common sense would tell me my local Democratic officials and my federal Democratic officials are failing me. They hurting me more than they helping me. I decided in my mind, let's not make the same mistake I did with Barack and vote for him 2 times. Because of the hate for this man, Donald Trump, and 2, from being misinformed. So you know what I did? I did my due diligence. I started researching stuff. I started reading articles. I started to expand my mind more than what I was taught to do. My whole family are Democrats. I'm probably the first person in my family that ever voted Republican. And I'm glad I did, because at some point, they gonna have to earn my vote. No, I'm not a Republican. No, I'm not a Democrat. My vote is my vote. People wanna say, well, if you voted for Trump, you voted against women's rights. I'm a man. My vote should be for my interests. Your vote should be for your interests. If your interests are your rights, then you vote for that. I don't have no problem with anybody who voted for anyone. That's your right to do. But I made a post on Facebook. If you claimed you were my friend before you figured out who I voted for, and then you found out who I voted for and we can't be friends anymore, then we were never friends to begin with. This election that we just previously had is going to be a defining moment in American history. A lot of folks on the wrong side of history with this one. The Democrats have never been in favor of black people. The Democrats' objective is only to keep you asking for more. The Democrats' objective has always been either to not give you anything, give you the illusion that they're giving you something, or if they give you something, it's for you to keep coming back with your hand out. The Democrats don't want you to not need them. That's what research from documented history has taught me. But all my life, my family, my community, my society, my culture has always taught me that Republicans don't want me to have shit. Republicans don't like black people. Republicans are Klans members. Republicans are rednecks. And my thing is, that Klans member ain't no different from that same black man on that street that would shoot his own black brother. It's no different. He might as well have on a white hood too. That redneck don't say nothing no different from what a lot of black people say behind closed doors. But they want me to think that he racist and us as black people can say whatever we want because our ancestors were slaves. They want us to think that black folks can't be racist. Okay. See, one thing about the truth is, the truth don't like a lie. And not many people like to hear the truth. They were right when they said truth hurts. The truth hurts. No matter how soft you say it to people, no matter how harsh you say it to people, you can tell someone the truth the exact way they want you to tell it to them, and it's still gonna hurt them. And what do people do when they get hurt? Hurt people hurt people. None of this had anything to do with her being a black woman running for president. America selected a black man for a president, which means those same people would have voted for Kamala if she would have made some fucking sense. The economy is fucked up. You know what really matters? People keeping money in their pockets. People being able to feed their family and pay their rent. Everybody can't buy houses. Being able to afford gas. And for some, being able to afford school or an education, a trade or something. A lot of folks can't even afford a trade. Yet and still, you want to sit here and run your campaign off of abortions? Dog, I don't give a fuck about no abortions. And try to say that the person that you're running against is trying to take that right from you. No one is taking that right from you. He simply said that's something that the government should not have no choice over. As the federal government, we're backing out of that. We'll leave it to your states to decide if that's what you guys want to do. And you know what you do? You go to your states and you vote on it. If you're in a state that don't allow it, move to a state that allows it. Folks are going to say, well, I don't have the money to just up and move like that. But do you know why you don't have the money to up and move like that? Because the Democratic Party is taking all your money. You ain't making no money under a Democratic administration. So if you want to make some money, I know for these next 4 years, the smarter thing for you to do was to vote for a person who's trying to put more money in your pocket, who's also trying to make your streets safer, who's also trying to make sure your kids get a better education than what they're getting, trying to make sure the money that is supposed to go to your child's school is actually going to your child's school and not going in the pockets of somebody who worked for your child's school. But you guys are so blinded by your hate for this man that you're losing.
Let me ask you this. What about what they've said in terms of black, particularly black men and Latinos, supported him more than they have in the past? Why do you think that is? And what do you have to say to black men and Latinos who were not in favor of supporting Kamala Harris?
Oh, honey, when your favorite niece and your 13-year-old daughter is raped by your alcoholic brother or the next door neighbor, and she tries to abort that baby inside of her from a rape, you're going to regret that. They want to keep women in their place. It's so disgusting. I can't even put words to them voting for her. They didn't vote for her. Didn't vote because she was a woman. They didn't care that she was smart and powerful, educated, beautiful, kind, joyful, fearless. She would have taken care of this country. She would have protected the people. She would have surrounded herself with great minds. But keeping women in their place was more important to them. And black men, that was just shocking because, honey, he's going to give the military and the police permission to shoot you in your back and there will be no immunity. So, baby, y'all done fucked up. You took every right from your children. Once again, there will be no social security and pensions and rights. This thing has said you will never have to vote again. He's going to be in charge of the military. We have fucked up. End of story.
This thing about this is, I don't know why people are still running with the whole narrative of after this there be no more elections. People are really running with the idea that when Trump gets in the office, mysteriously, some way, he's just going to change America into a dictatorship. The man has already said he has nothing to do with Project 2025. To sit here and keep on putting that on that man is crazy to me. And honestly, we don't know what any of these people will ever do when they get in office. Joe Biden promised everybody to get rid of student loan debt. Some people got it. You can sit here and say, well, they voted against it. He didn't have the power to just get rid of it. So he doesn't have the power to get rid of student loan debt for everyone. But somehow Donald Trump's going to get in office and have the power to change America to a dictatorship. Just tell me, how does that work? If the president has that much power, why Joe Biden didn't have the same power? Especially when your vice president is a tie-breaking vote on a lot of things they vote on. The majority of the reason we are in inflation came from choices of Kamala Harris being the tie-breaking vote. Y'all, it's documented. Y'all hate this man so much that you would just deny documentation. And they're going to constantly feed you the narrative of he going to take away your rights. What rights did you have before Donald Trump was president the first time and still now that you don't have anymore? What rights is he taking from you? The man is not taking any rights from you. You are capable of getting up and going wherever you want to go in this world. As long as it's not breaking the law, as long as you're not hurting anyone, in America, you pretty much can do what you want to do. To say that it'll be men's fault for women being raped by family members or strangers, that they will lose the right to choose not to have the baby of a person who SA'd them or raped them is insane. There's 4K footage of a plethora of people asking Donald Trump, what would be the exceptions to the rule to be allowed to get abortion? And I'm paraphrasing, but Donald Trump in 4K has said plenty of times, if she's been raped, incest, or medical complications, he has no problem with you getting an abortion. Now, in my opinion, I don't believe in aborting babies, but I would say those 3 reasons do sound reasonable to me. What doesn't sound reasonable to me, to be allowed to have repeated abortions as a form of birth control, because you don't want to take the proper precautions or steps to protect yourself. Women want men to be providers and protectors, but they have issues with men being providers and protectors. They want you to provide in the way they want you to provide. They want you to protect them in the way they want you to protect them. Protection comes in many forms. So when men tell women, yo, y'all might want to chill out because y'all women are getting real loose. That Jezebel spirit is running wild out here. No man wants a woman that's been around. And what society has done, society has given women that freedom to just run wild, fuck who you want to fuck, catch whatever disease you want to catch, have whoever baby you want to have, abort as many babies as you want, and men can't say anything about it, but you want us to protect you. But they will call it empowerment though. The fact that you can just sleep around and just live that 304 lifestyle, you can sit here and just parade your Jezebel spirit around. They call that empowerment. Men can't even provide anymore because what a man does offer in the form of providing, it's not enough. And if you know women these days, it's never going to be enough. And what's even sad past that is the fact that they won't even help you get enough. They'll get their owns, and half the time their own ain't even half of what you got that they claiming is not enough. A woman is supposed to be a man, help me. These women ain't helping men. They constantly telling men they ain't worth shit. These women for the last 3, 4, 5 years have been saying how men ain't shit. We don't need men. They need us. The election proved otherwise. It looked like you needed us. There was still a good amount of men who still decided to vote for Kamala. Cool. You guys, hey, vote for who you want to vote for. Cool. I have no problem with that. I'm in that other percentage that since you don't need us, I'm going to vote for my interests. It's been plenty of times me and my wife sat down and we discussed this election. I told my wife, hey, I'm thinking about voting for Trump. I didn't get no pushback from my wife about voting for Trump. Broke down the facts, gave her the sources to go look it up for herself. Also broke down what Kamala was talking about. It was the obvious choice. It's only 3 reasons people voted for Kamala. 1, they voted because they want to continue having abortions and continue to being reckless out here. Continue the Jezebel spirit. 2, they voted because she's a woman. That feminine energy took over. There's so many content creators that walk the streets and interview people on why they would choose Kamala over Donald Trump. A lot of them did not even have any legit reasons to not choose Donald Trump, but they chose Kamala because they wanted to see a black woman president. Same reason they voted for Barack, because they wanted to see a black man become a president. Those people are more fixed on trying to make history instead of trying to fix history. And the 3rd reason they voted for Kamala Harris is because she's black. The only 3 reasons possible that anybody voted for Kamala Harris. You know why I know? Because she didn't give you any other policies. A lot of things she talked about with policy, she took from Donald Trump. She was completely against a lot of things that Donald Trump said he wanted to do. But when she seen that people wanted those things, she switched her stance on a lot of those things. And what really sealed the deal with me is the fact that y'all friend, Sonny Hostin, asked her if she could change anything from this recent administration and things they did for her administration. And she said no. She said she was in a room for a lot of those decisions and she don't see anything that needed to be changed. So you know what that told me? They're trying to give me 4 more years of this bullshit. And I told myself I wasn't going to do it. That sealed the deal between me and my wife, and that's the reason why we voted for Trump. It is what it is. And since then, he won with an impressive win. Now, everybody want to be bitter, and everybody can't take a L no more. Drake ain't the only one that can't take a L this year. Them Democrats can't take a L neither.